You could not get a clearer contrast, and yet there will be those who hear Harris and love it every bit as much as you loved what you heard from Trump. So why this great divide? Well, it has to do with deeds and words. Trump voters expect deeds. Harris voters are fine with words. A Trump supporter votes for Trump expecting him to act. But a Harris supporter votes for Harris, and that is the act. The act of voting is itself the policy and the point. Specifics don't matter. The vote is the virtue signal, a simple requirement with no follow-up necessary. And that was by design, that the only basis for voting for a Democrat, whether it was Biden or Harris, was that it was only the vote that mattered and that it be against Trump. They can literally switch candidates from one with dementia to another with wet brain. They just expect you to vote for them no matter what. It's an anti-vote, an unvote. The Harris voters will pull the lever for Kamala and then recede back into their lives, where the issues the rest of us care about are left ignored, whether it's illegal immigration, rising crime, the 20% increase in food and gas prices. Because they've been convinced that none of that matters, except only this one-time heroic vote for Kamala. After all, she could be the first black and Indian female president to get us into a nuclear war. For proof, listen to MSNBC's Stephanie Ruhle with a New York Times columnist aboard, prioritizing a vote for Harris over actual policies.
It's not too much to ask Kamala, say, are you for a Palestinian state if Hamas is going to run that state?
Okay.
Yes or no?
And let's say you don't like her answer. Are you going to vote for Donald Trump?
No, I'm not.
Kamala
I just said I'm not going to vote for her.
Harris is not running for perfect. She's running against Trump. We have two choices. And so there are some things you might not know her answer to. And in 2024, unlike 2016 for a lot of the American people, we know exactly what Trump will do, who he is, and the kind of threat he is to democracy.
You know, I'd say she's dumber than a box of rocks, but at least you can throw those at Brian Kilmeade. So that's her strategy, and it might work. So how do you persuade a Democrat voter that it's a mistake to support Kamala when they aren't even interested in issues? The only counter strategy is not to call them idiots. That's going to fall on deaf ears. Instead, direct their attention to those outlets who are telling them what to believe. For the best way to unravel a naive liberal is expose the lies of those who feed them the lies, meaning debunk the brainwashers. So next time you get a chance, simply ask a Kamala supporter, why not Trump? And when they call Trump a racist or sexist, which they will, be prepared to debunk the lies, whether it's the fine people hoax, the drinking bleach hoax, or any lawfare. All it takes is one debunking to get them to think that their media isn't giving them the whole story. So you're not asking them to vote for Trump. You're just suggesting whether the information they're getting on Trump is really, in fact, trustworthy. It helps to remind them that 85 to 90% of the media is pro-Kamala and anti-Trump, which tells them that when they believe they're listening to legit news, they're actually being propagandized, brainwashed. That's the first step out of this bubble of blather. And next, if they're open to it, ask them to watch those two interviews. Because you simply cannot watch both and walk away thinking your media has been telling you the truth. And maybe that will tell them not to let cretins like The View make their decisions. Because they'd have you voting for Harris and then celebrating with a triple order of fettuccine Alfredo. Let's welcome tonight's guest. He's bedded a lot of women when he worked at that mattress store. Comedian Joe Mackey. Looks like the boy you could bring home to mom until he hits on your dad. Host of the Guy Benson Show, Guy Benson. This Navy reservist floats everyone's boat. Host of the Morgan Ortega Show on Sirius XM, Morgan Ortega. And he can see everyone's bald spots. New York Times bestselling author, comedian, and former NWA World Champion. You know, Joe, I always know this is going to be a hot and sexy show when you're wearing your members-only jacket. Sky blue. Sky blue.
I'm a male model, Greg.
Yes, you are. You are. You know what? And I have nothing to follow that up with.
Well, you know, it's interesting that we talk about how sexy I am, Greg, because it kind of highlights the contrast between the strategies of Harris and Trump's running for president. Harris is running to hook up on election night. She's going to tell vague lies. Trump is running for a good 4-year relationship, so he's telling you harsh truths. When Harris says, I don't want to ban fracking, that's like me saying I'm a movie producer, secret agent that doesn't have toenail fungus. You know, I'll do whatever I can. And when Trump says, like, we're going to have to, like, shoot some drug dealers in the head, that's like me saying, don't spend so much money on your nails and handbags. It's stupid and nobody cares.
You don't realize how brilliant that analogy is. I'm so going to repeat that word for word on the 5 tomorrow.
Yes.
And I'm going to take credit for it.
That's fair enough. You're my boss.
Yes, I am, and don't you forget it. But it's true. She's angling for a one-night stand, and he's basically, yes, because you're expecting a 4-year relationship from him, you're expecting these specifics, whereas the voters, just for Kamala, is just going to show up and disappear, guy. What say you, oh, well-manicured one?
What was interesting about the Oprah exchange was how pretty clearly under or unimpressed Oprah was.
Yes.
Right? Oprah has interviewed a lot of very impressive people through the years. Oprah herself is very impressive.
Yes.
She was sitting there watching this person across from her, and that internal monologue must have been really something because she was not loving what she heard. And there were a few times, journalists don't ask Kamala follow-up questions ever about anything. Oprah did a version of a follow-up where she kind of helped her answer it at the end. She would trail off in this word salad, and Oprah would say, so what you're saying is,
yes,
your plan is this. And Harris was like, exactly, yes. And Oprah's like, oh man, I should be in that seat.
Yeah, I don't like mind reading, but you could see it coming out of her eyeballs, Morgan. How dangerous would President Harris be, given the fact that we really don't know, in terms of foreign policy, what she's going to do? She doesn't commit to anything.
Not to be hyperbolic.
By the way, you should have cleaned up for tonight.
Sorry. I'll try harder next time.
No, literally, Greg walks into the green room, looks at her, and goes, you look awful.
Greg just likes to pull my hair like we're on the playground because he actually likes me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's cute.
And that was just a couple years ago at the playground.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, listen, no, I am dangerous. How could you not be concerned about a President Harris? Under her and Biden, we have seen the worst war in Europe since World War II. Mm-hmm. Under the two of them, our U.S. Navy in the Middle East, our U.S. Navy ships are experiencing more combat and more action than they've seen since World War II. So if you're Xi Jinping and you are making the calculation about what you're going to do for Taiwan or the Philippines, I mean, I think this is open season for despots and dictators around the world. Yeah, I think it's going to be a really scary place. The Pentagon just announced today that they're sending more troops to the Middle East. This is to be a deterrent to Iran because they keep failing to deter rogue states.
Rogue states. Speaking of, Tyrus, I find it hard to believe that this race is going to be close.
It's not. It's not close. And you saw, listen, even the audience, Oprah, whenever a woman plays with her hair while she's on TV of all places, you know it ain't going well. You know, like, and at one point, she did the double. I've never seen Oprah on ever go, and at one point, like, reached, and it was, because you wanted to just snatch, but the more answers you pulled out of her, they were like, this ain't it. This, what the hell is in there? Like, to the point. Thank you. To the point to where they had to change audience members' seats during the show, which means that was cut. They had to take breaks. There was a break. There was probably a water break where she went back to her team. And if this was a fight and that was her corner, they ran out of towels to throw in the first. Like, we keep throwing towels and she keeps going out there. No, like I said it before, we're going to have to work on the 5th because this is going to be over by 10 o'clock Eastern. The American people, just like you saw what happened with Budweiser, it's not the ones in front of the camera, you know, it's the ones who are working. And I think I've said it best when we said we've seen enough.
I hope you're right. All right.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.